What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. We are at the chopper barn. Yesterday was fun. Traded Frankenstein. Haven't been able to sell it, but traded it for this lovely 1958 Ford 801 tractor. Technically, I think it's an 851. It might be a 61. I'm trying to figure out that. I know there's a way to decode some VIN stamps and things, so maybe I'll take a look at that. See what we get on here, because this is all new to me. I think there's supposed to be some castings. I don't know if it's up here or whatever, but all sorts of numbers and marks all over this thing. But as far as I'm aware, it's a 58-801, which 801 I think is the designation. I'm not sure on the sheet metal if this is accurate or proper. I thought it might have had a different grill. It's kind of a learning curve, but it runs, it drives, it stops, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Had to learn the tower shifter, really neat, and the starter right here, also very neat. Kind of figured out all the PTO stuff to some extent, but the hydraulic pump on this is not happy, hence the pool of oil blood that it's drained all over the floor and out there. It's leaking like crazy from this pump, so I think we got two things I want to try and get done today. With the tractor, he dropped off the parts to fix it, but his barn is not heated where he had this thing kept, so I don't blame him. It's been way too cold. But we got a pump rebuild kit here, some extra fuel filters in there, or yeah, fuel filters, the glass ones down there. So where do I want to start? Do I want to do this? This is going to get me really dirty. But lowbrow finally, or not lowbrow, was it lowbrow? I don't remember. Yeah, lowbrow. Ordered some tubes and tire stuff from lowbrow, running a Shinko up front. Holy crap! I did not realize the cost of tires these days. So I have a 21 Avon over here. This is the front wheel that came on this Ironhead Sportster that we're putting the Springer on. Dual disc, stock setup. Worst case, I might end up stealing this tire because holy cow. It's almost 300 bucks for a Speedmaster. When did that happen? I haven't had to buy new tires in a while, but holy, I'm amazed. That's a lot of money for a vintage tread that's, I don't know, it's not like a performance tire or anything. But if the customer doesn't like this Shinko that we got on that 21, I didn't film any of that when I was over at the other shop. It's just putting a rubber tire on. I didn't feel like taking the time. And I was trying to jam in between a bunch of customers coming in and out today, but got a new tube, all set up on a brand new wheel. He also mentioned he might want that black, so it might be coming apart at some point. I'm trying to make him keep the chrome because it's a brand new 21 and it's gorgeous. I gotta wipe down all the fingerprints and tire lube that's on it, but ideal goal for today is get that mounted on the Springer, re-put the axle back in, which all kind of fit really well. So we got the spiked axle nuts on there with the spacers. We'll get this laid out all over again. I got two new stem nuts that I'm going to try. Hopefully one of them will work on here. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get that Springer back on here. I'd really like to have a buddy give me a hand on that just because it gets kind of teeter-tottery and goofy, but I'm willing to try it. It's only a customer bike after all. But brand new wheels done. And then ideally we'll get this pump off of here. I'm not going to take this all apart, but try and at least separate this hydraulic pump so I can get it on the bench and maybe start cleaning some stuff. Because this doesn't work for me. It's excessive. So let's get set up over there on the workbench. We'll get the wheel thrown on first and then try and wrestle a Springer on. Maybe I'll even put the lift up and cheat a little. Huh. Could do that. Turn the compressor on, lift that table up, turn the frame sideways and mount that front end. I think it's heavy enough in the rear to balance that out. Maybe just run it sideways. We're gonna get creative. One person working on long bikes in a shop. Let's see how this goes. Anyways, wheels going on first. Let's see if our 1-inch nut fits. I'm not optimistic because this is my life. Oh, I think this is the wrong one too. Jeez, what size is this? Well, maybe, just maybe. Gotta love old springers that are incomplete when you gotta kind of mix and match parts. Oh. These threads have definitely seen better days too, but come on. Are you that dirty or just gummed up? Feels like you want to go on. Oh yeah, I might need to grab the thread file. Do I have that up here? I got 1 or 2 boogered up threads right on the end of this. But I feel like this is the right nut. I don't know how well it's all going to play out or lay out once we get the springers and stuff on. It's got to be that. Let's see. One of 2 things are going to happen here. It's either going to mess up these threads pretty good, or it'll start going. Seriously? Right in between sizes here too. You can see this one thread right here is pretty mangled and kind of rolled over. There's a couple of them right there, but I think what we're gonna do is maybe a drop of oil. This is really just a test fit to try and figure out what size I need. Not ideal in terms of your bolting situation. Let's try a tiny bit of lube on there. See if that helps. Don't want to go too crazy. Okay, so at least I found the right nut. I think. Do I have my big sockets up here? Oh, I do. Helpful. Sometimes you get lucky. Oh, I forgot I moved those over here. But at least this way. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's just that first thread. It's going okay now. Got the impact here too, but we don't want to go too crazy. Go by hand. Getting easier and easier once we're past those first handful. Just kind of recutting some. Because I don't have a tap or a die big enough to actually mess with that. The only other issue I might have now, once we get this all set up back on the bike, is there is a slight chance that this neck with these bearing cups on the bottom here, this might be a little too thick, where I won't have enough meat to drop a stem nut up top. So I might end up having to be some lathe work too, which not ideal, but we'll figure something out. Even if we can get this temporarily kind of laid out where it is bolted onto the bike, I'd feel a lot better about that. And then I got plenty of time, since it is the middle of winter, plenty of time to actually figure out a proper bolt, or maybe we'll have to make one. We'll see. And our threads still look good on here, so just that top little bit, I can see it right here where it's pinched. Now that we ran a nut through it, right there is a little wonky. but we should be good there. Let me grab this wheel, throw this thing back together. I do kind of like this tread on these as well, but rotation. Ugh. So this is going to be really fun. One-handed. Got the wheel set up. Get this going on one side, axle through, spacer in. Now, the old one-armer. Just trying to get it started on one side of the bearing. Like so. A little goofy, but should work. Where's my other spacer? It's a tight fit, but I know it does work because we had this laid out already. Oh, I should have done this the other way so I'm not working behind the bench. That was foolish. All right. Got the spacer on enough. Tighten this axle nut down just a little bit more so I can get a little bit of rotation through here. Just gotta get it into the spacer like that. There we go. I think that's a good looking front end now. And there we have it. Front end installed. Well, wheel installed rather. So now we'll turn this and then we're gonna have to get creative over here in regards to how to do this. I think I am actually gonna cheat it a little bit. We'll assemble it on the lift sideways like this because I can adjust the lift up and down. Not light. We got a ways to go here. It's a tall front end. Oh, mic down. There. We turn on the compressor and we'll put the lift up in the air a little bit. All right, I'm gonna let the compressor fill up because it's completely drained. I never fixed the final leak on there. It's a pain in the butt and I don't really want to do it because last time I sliced my wrist open. It'll get done eventually. Let me let that fill up a little bit. I'll put this up in the air and we'll be back when the bike's higher. Going up a little bit on the lift. So now, should make it a little easier to kick this up here. I have not greased the bearings yet. I know. I don't anticipate this being final assembly as much as I would like to be done with it. But we're definitely gonna have a lot of things to change on here as we progress. So, this is gonna be a pain by myself. What else do I need? Oh, long bikes are cool, they said, until you have to work on them by yourself. All right. And then we get to hope that this is heavy enough to stay. This is a really bad idea, but I'm gonna leave this on here just like this for 30 seconds while I run and grab the bearings I forgot to grab over on the other side. Come on, nut. Just slight safety here. 6 threads of really fine questionable bits stay. Again, the bearings are not greased at all yet, but we're not worried about that quite yet. Take off the nut I just put on. Let's see what we're looking like with the bearings in and these cups on. How much room we got. Yeah. Okay, so the nut will kind of work on here. I might need to do a little bit of machining on here too. I'd like a little bit more threads up top. I'll show you that in a second. And there's no fork stops on here yet, so it's just kind of resting on the frame. This type of nut does thread through. It's shouldered at the bottom here. So that is kind of what we're looking for. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get this on because that's not enough thread for me to be comfortable. And you can see here the top clamp plates on the arms are not down far enough, which is because this lowbrow conversion kit, or not lowbrow, this conversion kit runs these real thick neck cup things. So it looks like we can actually come up a little bit more. Maybe I can get that front end up. Let's start tightening that top knot. I want to put a washer underneath there too, but while we're doing mock-up stuff right now, I'm not too concerned. Let's just kind of see what happens as we go here. I definitely have a little bit of room for this to come up higher. Oh, you know what? It may just be me. I think this is gonna work. Again, no grease on the bearings. I really should just grease them, but. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. That's actually gonna work. Whew, gentle. I hate bites with no fork stops. Just banging and beating on everything. Not my favorite. Well, I'll be darned, this might actually work. Sweet. Maybe I should throw the rear wheel on just to kind of balance this out a little bit. Do I have a rear axle? Yes. Oh! Have I told you guys how much I missed working on bike things? Quite a bit. I don't care really that much on the spacers right now though, but I lost a spacer. There we go. Sorry, I'm rubbing the mic on this wheel. It's not light. Okay. That should at least act as a counterbalance-ish. Where's my hammer? I think the only reason I don't like chain stops is I never remember that there's, or fork stops, is that I never remember that they're not there. So it usually just ends up banging around into the frame or hitting the tank. Something along those lines. Come on, axle. All the way. You're right there. So I don't have any spacers on here, but that at least puts the rear end in a spot where it's going to kind of stay of the bike, and it adds a little bit of weight. Now, if you were an axle nut, where would you be? Again, not the right parts, but we're just going to try and finalize some mock-up here. So that'll at least hold all of this together, and then I can actually lower the lift now. And I should be able to, oh man, risers. I don't have a way to turn this without risers. Well, I do. I mean, I can turn it from the springs, but this nut is going to work. So that's the one I needed. That was a, what do we got over here? CAD plated reproduction stem nut. So basically the one for a stock Springer. Sweet. Well, now we can get creative. Lower the lift, balance the bike, pull the lift out. Maybe. Or maybe this is one of those things I should wait for somebody else to give me a hand, because that might get real teeter-tottery, and I don't know if I can navigate moving the lift around at the same time as holding the bike steady. But I really want to see it on ground level. At least with the wheel on the back, this thing's perfectly balanced now. Well, yeah, that's not going anywhere. If we drop it down, it might. Do I have enough to swing the ass end out? Maybe I can pull this over to the end of the lift. Need more friends. Something like that. Then if we drop this down, I don't know, what do you guys think? Bad idea? Let's come up with this a hair. By that I mean all the way. Kick our locks up, make sure the blanket's clear. And one-handed, drop this and balance it all at the same time. This is where I get nervous. This could be a really bad idea. Do this low and slow bleed down. I don't need this going crazy on me. Ooh. There we go. Come on. Come on. There's our front wheel, back wheel. It doesn't go low enough. Do I muscle it and then have to be stuck moving this thing around the shop with no bars? Really should have put some risers on here. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna actually put this back up in the air. I'll wait till I bring Dottie over here and make her give me a hand putzing this around. It's not fun moving these without bars, especially when I got that bearing nut tight. But I kind of like it. I think this thing looks pretty good. It's coming along at least. Not too bad for an old ironhead. Still have a decent amount of things to figure out and make, but front back wise, I feel like we're in pretty good shape. I just want to see it fully on the ground. So you can see the difference on the rocker geometry as well. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse. I didn't really measure out a rake and trail. I'm guessing, where did those other ones sit? These are the ones we had on there. The axle was a little bit more in line. If we need to, we can go back to these and kind of test and tune them, I guess. I know we can measure rake and trail and try and figure that out, but I don't know. on my chopper, it still drives like crap, and that one actually measures out okay. But, I mean, drives like crap for an old chopper with a Springer front end. That's too long on a not set up frame, but there we go. I'm gonna leave the iron head right here like this. I'll put it back up in the air. I think recenter it on the lift table at least. And then we'll just leave that up on the locks overnight. For now, I think it's time to go play tractor. Slow progress, but we're getting there.